Hey guys, Fran here, Rams Elite Fitness, and we're going to be doing a video here on CrossFit. I've been actually wanting to do this video for quite some time, but I wanted to make sure I properly, set out an outline of how I wanted to do this, because I think it is a very, very important topic, and I wouldn't have done any justice had I just, put together 10 minutes real quick and just thrown it together, and so I want to make sure I got this right. So stick with me, guys. I want to first talk about the background and mindset that you're going to need to continue to watch this video, and then we'll get into the actual videos on YouTube. We'll go through some of the actual lifts in CrossFit and make some comments there. But I think it's essential to get this part taken care of first, okay, before we move on. If you got a chance to read an article I published today about the hidden agenda of chain gyms, I bring up the question of value. Okay, and when you ask yourself, what is value? Okay, essentially, in most transactions, somebody exchanges their money for some sort of value in return for that dollar, right? And the big question I want you to ask yourself is, when it comes to health and fitness, when you exchange your money for some sort of value, whether that's a gym membership or personal training or a group class, are you truly getting value back in return proportionate to that dollar amount? I think it's a very important question to ask, and a very important one. So we're going to go over the CrossFit model here and keep that in the back of your mind, okay, as we go through this. Okay, CrossFit essentially license its name to individuals for a fee. All right, so essentially right here, the affiliates develop their own programming, pricing, and instruction. So it's not a corporation where there's like a CrossFit headquarters and they send out corporate policies to all the CrossFit facilities. It's not run like that. Essentially, all CrossFit gives out is its name, and that's it. The affiliates are responsible for the location, the equipment, the instruction, the training, all of it. So from a business perspective, CrossFit has built itself up to the point where all it really does is just give out its name. So it's from a business perspective, there's a lot to admire about CrossFit. I think the way that they're able to generate the following that they have is essentially almost cult-like with the support it gets. And if you ever try to talk to somebody about CrossFit and you're talking to a CrossFitter and you try to explain anything about CrossFit as a negative, it's like talking, to the wall. It'll zoom right past them. And, that excitement that CrossFit generates about itself, that's something to admire and something that most businesses should try to replicate. You would want people to have a loyal following to you, from a business side of things. That's great for them. And then here, CrossFit has a standard 2-day course for their trainers, for their certification of trainers. It's a 2-day course. We're going to get into that in a second, but I want you to make sure we have this down pat here as we move forward. Okay. Number one, understand the business, the business side of CrossFit. And then number two, I want you to ask yourselves, who's training you? Okay. What is, the instructor that's cueing you on the exercises, what expertise do they have that is equal to the dollar amount you're spending? Okay, is this person truly qualified? What are their qualifications? What have they done to become a quote-unquote expert of fitness? Why are they instructing you at the end of the day? Why is it this person? What separates a CrossFit trainer or any trainer from the trainer down the street? Okay, why is this person supposed to be so much more qualified? Ask yourself those two questions as we move forward. Keep that in the back of your mind, and I think you're going to get the big picture of this video. All right. Moving on, we're going to talk here real quick about the CrossFit certification course. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but what I want to highlight here is it is a 2-day course. See down here at the bottom here. It's a full day, a 9 a.m. day to a 5 p.m. day. It's 8 hours. It's 2 days. My issue here is there's no way in hell that 16 hours is going to be adequate, if that's an adequate amount of time to train somebody, not only to become a personal trainer and like exercise in general, but to become somebody who's going to be teaching Olympic lifts, power lifts, pull-ups, dips. I mean, that's asking a whole bunch there, and I can never agree with this. There's just no way I'm ever going to sign off that, hey, you know, you have Joe down at the grocery store. He's a bagger or a cart guy or whatever, and he decides one day, hey, you know what, I'm going to come down to CrossFit and get trained. Takes a 2-day course, and now all of a sudden he's the one leading group classes. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't care how interactive this class, this course is. There's no way in hell that 2 days is enough for you then to start leading classes and telling people how to lift and instructing them. The second thing I want to highlight here, look at the course. $1,000 for this course. It's a 2-day course for $1,000. Let's just say they get like 30 people to sign up for this course. As you can see from the picture, it is a group certification course. It's not one-on-one or anything. Let's say they get 30 people. It's $30,000 CrossFit makes in 2 days on a weekend. You run that for every weekend of the year, and that's some big-time money there. So again, understand the business that is CrossFit. Is it truly a health and fitness solution, or is it a business simply in the health and fitness industry? That's what I want you to ask yourself when it comes to this. Because, now look, $1,000, I paid about $300 for my certification. And they sent me 2 textbooks, which I had to study for a couple months. And that counted for the, to sit and take the actual test. $300 what I paid for, which is nearly a third of this. Now, again, I did have prior history with my fitness. I went to college and did receive a bachelor's degree for it, and so it wasn't like I just took that test either. It wasn't like I just read out of a book and then took the test. I did lots of stuff to make sure I'm qualified to know what I'm talking about. But again, look at this, $1,000 per head, 2-day course. Is that truly something that makes their trainers qualified, or is that simply something that's good for business? All right, well, let's move on. Let's get into some videos. All right. Right here we have Dave Castro, okay? The guy's a former Navy SEAL, has a pretty good background from my understanding in military, so that is to be commended. He is also the co-director of training for CrossFit, so, and for setting up the CrossFit Games. So the guy's very high up in CrossFit, and responsible for essentially those courses there that are training other people to become fitness professionals, quote unquote. There, all right. What he has here is a deadlift. We're gonna, at 465, it's a deadlift, and we're gonna play this video. But before I do, I want to show you another deadlift here. Again, this is 315. This is for this guy's personal record. I'm showing you this so you can see the difference between the two. I'm going to show you this one first. This is what I deem a proper deadlift, and just A+ all around from this guy. Again, I don't know who he is, but we're going to go ahead and watch it here. And I want you to notice a couple of things. Number one, notice the flat back here. It's a very important teaching cue when you're teaching deadlift. This is not to be rounded like a lot of people will insert like a cat, do this little jump with a rounded back to show you what not to do. Same thing here. You want this back to be nice and flat like it is. And if we look at Dave Castro, you can already tell it's going to be a disaster. It's already rounded, and he hasn't even started his lift yet. He's just setting up, and it's rounded. So again, follow the straight back, and then watch the explosion of the hips through, coming forward into you're standing upright, right where your feet are, over top of your feet. You're bringing your hips straight through. Okay, let's go ahead and play. Turn the volume off, I don't care about that. And that's a good lift. That is a fantastic lift. Again, I just want to kind of go through this again. Watch, you notice here as he sets up a nice flat back. And he pulls straight up, hips straight through, and the bar is down, and that's the lift. That is a deadlift. No matter what the weight you're using, I don't care if it's 300 pounds, if it's 400 pounds. If you're deadlifting 465 pounds, it better look just as... Might not be as fast as that. That guy ripped through that rep. But the form's got to be there. The bar has to constantly be moving on the upward trend. You can't sit here and go up and down with the bar and try to... And you'll see in a second. But the weight doesn't matter that much when it comes to form. You still need good form. You need a nice flat back, and you need to rip your hips through. We're going to watch Dave Castro here. Co-director of training for CrossFit. Deadlifting 465. Again... We'll leave this on. And notice here, they have a timer going here. Pay attention to this. This is a timer for how long this rep's lasting. And as you can see here, back is super bent already. I mean, this is asking for some sort of slip disc or a spinal injury of any sort. This is no good, guys. If your back's like this, you're gonna want to fix it. Not breathing, just kind of holding, or he's just kind of, you can tell, stressing big time here. The weight's just too heavy, guys. I mean, this just, there's no other way to say it. This is what happens when you try to lift a weight that you can't lift. You're going to look like Dave Castro here. Okay, now all this here, if you notice here, he's leaning back, he's trying to get the bar. Essentially what he's doing is he's using his legs, the structure of his legs, the bones, the kneecap, to take the weight away from the actual lift, from his hips, and he's essentially resting this bar on his legs. This is a maneuver called hitching. It's actually illegal. If you go to a lifting competition, you can't hitch. The bar has to remain on an upward trend throughout. It can't go up and down and rest on things. So we're going to continue to play it, but just so you know, this is not a. You can't do this when you're deadlifting. If you're doing this, this is again your spine. You're setting up your spine for injury. Gosh, I don't want to keep stopping this, but just use common sense. You're watching this guy. I'm going to back it up here a couple seconds. You're watching this guy. If I come and tell you, hey, this is the co-director of training for wherever, just watch the video and you tell me if that makes sense to you. Just use common sense. Just watch. Just tell me. Use your gut. Does this look like somebody who'd be the co-director of training somewhere? All right, we're backing up a little bit. There we go. And go. I mean, that is a disaster of a deadlift. No other way to say that. And if you defend that, then shame on you. And I would suggest that you automatically you unqualify yourself to be any sort of fitness professional. That's an absolutely atrocious lift. And this guy is co-director of training. So again, ask that question: who is training you? Right. The guy has a great background in the military. Doesn't have a fitness background. His whole fitness background is from CrossFit. Literally, I think he started as like an intern and just learned from the founder or whatever, and then this is it. This is him now. Now all of a sudden he's qualified just because he says so, essentially. And then he's teaching people how to do the same thing. So just again, ask yourself, who is teaching you? Why are you giving them your money? And how much money are you giving that person? Is it proportionate to the value that they give you in return? All right, and then we're going to go to this video here. The reason I'm showing you these two, okay, the back injuries from the deadlifts from CrossFit are one of the big hot spots for injuries, and then the second one is shoulder. So this one's going to be some of the Olympic lifting overhead that I'm going to show you some more terrible form on. Again, here it is, CrossFit, in someplace in Albany. I don't know where it is, but I figure I'm going to show you the shoulder side of things too, because it's their second, it's a second area of issue for them is their shoulder injuries, rotator cuffs. Too much stress on the shoulders, using too much weight. It comes down to too much weight for speed, for high intensity, and form just goes right out the window. Whenever you have a competition and you're telling somebody, do this as many times as you can, as fast as you can, you really think they're going to sit there and focus on form, making sure they have a perfect rep? No, they're not. This is what you're going to get. Cue the tape. And notice too, everybody in the background, nice job. That's a great lift, great, good form. No, that's terrible form. She's essentially going for a clean and press. And I don't want to bore you guys, but you're clean. You shoot it straight up, you catch it, and then you go essentially right to the press. There isn't this half clean, a half pull halfway up your body. You lean back so the bar rests on your abs while you flip your hand around and then get underneath it, then pull it up, and then now try to do the press. That's not the way this is supposed to work at all. This completely defeats the purpose of this exercise. The weight is too heavy, and you notice there's not one instructor in sight coming to give that criticism to this lady. Okay, and again, I don't want you guys to understand this. I am not criticizing the individuals, the participants in this exercise. They are not the experts or the so-called experts. They are paying money to receive this sort of poor instruction, and that's why I'm asking you, who's teaching you, and is it worth what you're paying people? Because again, there's no instructor in sight to correct this, and this poor soul is paying to essentially lift like this and risk their shoulders.
You got it. Do it again. You got it.
Oh, there you go. So, again, this stuff's pretty typical. You can just YouTube CrossFit form for Olympic lifts or CrossFit, fail videos or whatever have you, and it's pretty plentiful. It's not like these are isolated incidents. I mean, this is pretty commonplace in this in CrossFit. All right, again, this is hitching. This is supposed to be a clean pull, straight up, explosive movement, catching it, and right to the press. Instead, we're having all this leaning going on. The back's being stressed. Let me ask you something. You guys are ever at work and you have to pick up a heavy box, and the box says "squat, don't bend"? That's exactly what's going on here. We're bending and lifting with our back instead of our legs. And again, this is not how it's supposed to be done. Not a instructor in sight, in helping these people out. And these people don't know any better. They're paying. They're thinking they're getting expert advice, and they're not. So.
Nice. Good. Oh, you got it. Come on. You got it. Right in the car. Nice fast hips. Hip and drive.
All right. What we have here is somebody, again, clean and pressing with a mixed grip. Never in my life have I seen this. The reason being, let me ask you something. How are you supposed to flip your wrists underneath the bar and catch this when one arm is in the mixed grip, when you're in the mixed grip like this? How is this wrist supposed to rotate underneath the bar? I'm going to tell you how. It doesn't. It cannot bend that way. It doesn't. You're not going to catch the bar backwards. So, really, the way this individual... So what it tells me right now is that this individual is not strong enough to pull the weight with an overhand grip, which means they're not going to be able to pull, even with a mixed grip, probably all the way up. She's going to have to flip her hand. She's going to hitch, let the bar rest on her core, flip her hand around, and it's just going to be disaster for rep once again.
Yep, now do it. Jump, don't let it drop.
All right. So again, another mixed grip. So I've had enough of the videos. I can honestly, folks, I can really only take so much. It starts to give me migraines just thinking about, the instructors and the people that acceptingly, willingly take these people's money, knowing this is what happens, or maybe they don't. Maybe they're ignorant to the issue. I don't really care, but I've had quite enough. So I hope I just taught you guys something. I'm not here to just throw up 10 million videos of CrossFit to make fun of them. I'm hopefully got a deeper message across, and that is twofold. What kind of business is CrossFit? Is it really a health and fitness solution, or is it simply a business for profit inside of health and fitness because the way it's structured, it's a profit center? Or should I say, and number two, who is your instructor? Do they really know what they're doing, or is the company they work for just hiring them to get the class instructed, or how's that dynamic work? What's going on? Are you paying for expert advice, or are you paying for fake expert advice, or something that's not existent? And this doesn't apply just to CrossFit. I mean, I want you guys to apply this everywhere. I want you to apply this to any of the big chain gyms you go to, any personal training you receive, group fitness classes, even Rams Elite Fitness. I want you to apply all these questions to everything, and just get a conversation going about things. I think there's a lot to change about this industry, and it's got to start with people talking, having a dialogue about things. It's not enough just to watch CrossFit videos and make fun of it. You need to start thinking, why are people paying money for this when you can go somewhere and have qualified one-on-one instruction from a qualified personal trainer with a background in experience and education for probably close to the same rate? Why are you putting yourself at that risk? And even if it is more expensive to pay one-on-one, isn't it worth it if you're going to end up getting your results and have somebody instructing you that is of worth and not going to lead you down the road here where you're going to be lifting Olympic lifts backwards and hitching all over the place? Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for the support. I'm very pleased with everything that I'm doing for you guys, and all the support I'm getting has just been incredible. I get people from different states and countries that I talk to that see my videos and read my stuff and tell me, you know, how cool some of the stuff is and how great the information I'm putting out is, and that's all I'm seeking to do. I want to start some conversations. I can't change things on my own. I really do want to change some things in the fitness industry, but I obviously can't do it on my own, so I'm going to attempt to start by starting some conversation. Thanks again for watching, guys.